I remember a time not so long ago when I felt so overwhelmed and like I had completely lost my purpose to the point where I was working and didn't even recognize where I was working or the work that I was doing. And probably even scarier than that was that I wasn't even recognizing myself anymore. And I know some of you, maybe many of you, may be feeling the same way, feeling kind of like you're in the same boat, um, where you're really just trying so hard to keep it all together that you've really lost sight of who you are in that process. And as you know, that's why I'm here to help you reclaim control, find your purpose again, and ultimately turn those hot messes into hot successes. And whenever I have found in my life, when those times have happened where I have felt like I was stretched so thin that I was about to break, I found that revisiting my values really helped me recenter and refocus and get grounded again. And our values aren't just something that look good on paper. They're not these lofty aspirations. They should be your guiding principles for your life. They should be how you make decisions, how you decide on what behaviors you're going to do. They really should be at the center of everything that you do. Like when I used to do some values exercises when I was working in higher ed, I would have the students create a t-shirt and put their 5 values on their t-shirts, because the whole point is that people should know what your values are by the way that you live. And if you are keeping your values central to who you are and they are aligned with your goals and your purpose, then it should be no surprise to anyone as to what your values are. And the first step in that is really understanding what your values are, identifying them, naming them. That is so important to who you are and knowing kind of where you're going to go. Whether that's integrity, whether it's family, whether it is accomplishment, whatever values are important to you, don't worry about what society tells you you should value. Focus on you and what speaks to you the most and speaks to the person that you are and the person that you want to be. And so once you know your values, then you can prioritize accordingly. When we align our priorities with our values, we're more energized, we're more excited, and we're likely to get more things done. And that's what we all want for our lives, I assume, because we're here. And so take the time to really decipher what's important and what's urgent, because they're not always the same thing. And they don't always align in the same way to our values as you would assume or as you would think. So the key here is to first just brain dump all of your to-dos that you can think about, all of the tasks or priorities that come to your mind. Get them down on paper so that way you have something to work with. From there, look at those and see which ones connect with your core values and with your ultimate kind of long-term goals, which ones don't, which ones may somewhat align, but it's kind of a loose connection. Once you categorize those, you can then decipher which ones are your top priorities. Those are going to be the things and the tasks that are attached directly to your core values and your long-term goals. And that's where you should really spend a lot of your time focusing your energy on, because that's what's going to fuel you to move forward. That's what's going to energize you and keep you motivated when times get tough. Now, one way that you can also live out your values on a day-to-day basis is to create a values manifesto. This starts by first, obviously, identifying your core values, but then you write a statement on how you're going to live out that value in your day-to-day life. So, for example, one of my core values is growth and having a growth mindset. And so my personal value manifesto related to that is that I will learn something new each and every day because I value growth and personal and professional development. So do that for your core values. Make a values manifesto statement for each and every value that you have, and revisit those weekly, monthly, whatever consistency looks like for you. Revisit them, remind yourself of these manifesto statements, and remember why you chose those core values and why you're working towards the goals that you are, because they are aligned with your values. So remember, your values and your priorities are the foundation upon which your success is built. Your priorities should fall in line with the core values that you have. And so anytime you're feeling out of whack, which I have felt quite often, it's a sign to revisit your core values and revisit your priorities and see where there may be some misalignment or opportunities to get them better connected. And if you do the exercise as far as coming up with a personal values manifesto for any of your values statements, I would love for you to share them in the group so that way we can support each other and just really get to know each other on a deeper level, because we'll get to know what we each value. So happy Focused Friday, wishing you all a great restful weekend, and here's to another week full of more hot successes than hot messes. Take care, y'all.